Hey there, and welcome to You Talk. We connect with amazing people from across Canada and ask them about their stories, passions, and experiences. I'm your host, Brian Funk. Called The White Night, Nuit Blanche is a free nighttime exploration and celebration of contemporary art that kickstarts Culture Days Manitoba. I thought I had missed it this year, but luckily, the events are continuing to be held until Sunday, October 24th. Did you know that a group of flamingos is called a Flamboyance? Well, I learned that from Nick, who's another artist at Nuit Blanche. I sat down with Nick to talk a little bit about his Flamboyance of flamingos, as well as being a maker and creator.
I've got a day job where I'm a data analyst for a transportation company. So I'm not really an artist, or I don't really consider myself an artist, but I'd say I'm a maker. I love to make things in my spare time. So I do a lot of woodworking, like making tables, skateboards, all sorts of stuff. And in the past, I got a bit of experience making different projects with lighting, and that sort of led into Nuit Blanche.
You like to get involved in your hand, and you mentioned woodworking. So is that something you took shop class back in school, or?
No, I actually arrived at it pretty late in life. Wasn't really big into shop when I was going through high school. I went to university for business, finance, and like technology, basically. But after graduating university, I got a tour of this. It's like a community workshop in Winnipeg called North Forge. And it was sort of like I was a kid in a candy store. They have all these 3D printers and laser cutters and just extremely powerful modern manufacturing equipment. And instead of getting a regular day job, I started a business and just started, learning stuff from other members at this place called North Forge. And one thing led to another. And I figured out that I loved it, when I was around probably 25, 26 years old.
North Forge is a pretty cool organization. There were some conversations of it starting up in Morden. Unfortunately, it didn't go anywhere, but just talking with them and finding about the organization was pretty cool.
I volunteered there for 5 years on the green team. So I managed the recycling and stuff like that, basically just doing everything I could to help. And I don't volunteer there anymore as much, but I still try and get out there and see what cool projects people are working on and make some projects of my own.
You're a maker. Tell me a little bit about the project that you created this year for Nuit Blanche.
It's called a Flamboyance of Flemingos. And a group of flamingos can be called a flamboyance. When I was sort of researching the idea of the project and looking into flamingo related topics, I found out that a group of flamingos can be called a flamboyance, and I just loved the idea, and that's what I used as the title for my exhibit. So essentially, it's 14 glowing pink flamingos. That's really all it is. It's pretty simple to break down. I've always loved Nuit Blanche. I'll give the 30-second explanation. Is basically it's an evening free event where different artwork, installations, and exhibits pop up around the city, and usually they involve light or illumination in some way. And it's always been one of my favorite events in the city. Normally, it's a one-day event. So one evening, you get together with your friends, you walk around in the Exchange District or the Forks, and you just see all these amazing, beautiful artistic displays that involve light in really creative ways. And so I'd been a fan of it for a number of years. I was hoping to make an exhibit in 2020. I actually applied for Nuit Blanche in 2020, but as we all know, COVID happened and the event got canceled, which was probably fine because I don't think I was really as prepared back then anyway.
Yeah, so you had some time to just figure out the concept and the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's super exciting. I thought I missed it at first, so it was really cool that it was extended. So now is the great opportunity. It goes till October 24th. We're going to get this episode out so people can know about it and get excited. Maybe check it out this weekend. Yeah,
it's been wonderful hearing from people that have seen it. I had a few friends that, I haven't talked to in a while, and, they'll send me a message like, "Oh, Nick, I saw your flamingos." And it's been so wonderful just catching up with other people and This exhibit is sort of helped me make a lot of connections that I'd lost ever since everybody sort of went into lockdown so many months ago.
So why did you feel this was important for yourself to do? Like back in 2020, you wanted to do it. What was it that you're just like, this is something I need to do?
Like I said, I loved the event so much. I obviously enjoyed making things, and I sort of just put two and two together. And the initial inspiration, I thought it was going to be an outdoor exhibit, as with previous years. So I just thought it would be such a cool idea if people are, walking around on Nuit Blanche, then all of a sudden on, Waterfront Drive by the Forks, they stumble upon like all of these glowing pink flamingos. And I just thought that would be like a fun experience for people enjoying the evening. And so obviously it had to change a little bit. We decided, or Jen and the organizers decided to put everything indoors for the most part. Mm-hmm. So I switched all of my flamingos from battery operated to electricity operated. But yeah, for the most part, it's been great. The inspiration goes back to the neighborhood of Transcona.
Okay.
So for people who are unaware, Transcona is a neighborhood in Winnipeg. And ever since the 80s, this neighborhood's been really partial to these plastic flamingo lawn ornaments. And I remember when I was a little kid, I was pointing them out when I was in Transcona, and my mom said, oh yeah, people in Transcona love their plastic flamingos, but a lot of people find them tacky or trashy in the rest of Winnipeg. And I always just thought that was so silly. Like I guess when you're young, you sort of look at things from a more innocent perspective, and I just really liked them. And it sort of stuck with me that at some point when I own my own home, I want some plastic lawn flamingos, but don't have a home yet. So I figured a Nuit Blanche exhibition would be a good way to share my enthusiasm.
I think that's the coolest part about art, that there's always a story to it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how did you create this Flamboyance? How did you design it, come up with the concept, and execute it?
So initially I was thinking of using a lighting technique called electroluminescent wire. So I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera here, but my first project using lighting was this skateboard.
Oh, nice.
You can see I didn't design the wheels, but they light up as well. It was just a really fun project. And I thought I would basically design a wire frame and wrap like pink wire in the form of a flamingo. Mm-hmm. So that was the first idea. But then I discovered that there's another technique that you can use to make really cool lighting displays called edge-lit acrylic lighting.
Oh, okay.
So acrylic is basically just a plastic material. And if you get it in a clear sheet of it and you engrave a design, you can light up the edge, and the design that's in the acrylic will sort of glow.
Ooh.
And that really appealed to me because when you're using an engraved design, you can make a much more complex shape. Mm-hmm. Or just, you can get really creative with the artwork. You're not limited to using a piece of wire and, bending it around all these tight corners and stuff like that. And once I decided to settle on using acrylic and LED lighting, just put the design together and started building them. It was one night of laser work that I went until about 5 a.m. So,
as many creatives do, all of a sudden just a binge of work.
Exactly. Yeah. It was. I work a day job, like I was saying, so I don't have too much free time or energy on the evenings and weekends. So during one of my vacations, I basically just blitzed through the entire project, and it was good to go after that.
So yeah, you have a sort of a tech background. Do you think that helped you in finding this medium and approaching it with this sort of tech?
I go down YouTube rabbit holes on a daily basis, I would say. As far as learning new skills, it's probably like the number one way that I learn new stuff these days. And yeah, I think anybody who's in, IT or technology will tell you that Google is probably your best friend, and it's the answer to like at least 90% of your questions. And so, yeah, I relied on just different techniques that I've used for learning stuff online, doing this project.
So have you done a project similar to this in the past, or so let's just start there, and then maybe tell me about some of the projects you're working on or would hope to work on.
Yeah, so this was one of my earlier projects that I'm really proud of, just because it took so many dang hours.
Yep. Yeah, I can see the intricacy of it.
Yeah, so
wow.
So this is a coffee table, and it's got an engraved ball in a maze puzzle built into it. And this was, so it's basically using laser cut designs very similar to the Flamingos. But instead of an engraved design, it's actually, cut through 1/4 inch thick wood. And that one I had a lot of fun with. I think I got some pictures here of the Flamingo exhibit.
Oh, there they are. I love that. It reminds me of just like 80s aesthetic and like 80s like synth wave and neon punk.
Oh, I absolutely love synth wave and the retro revival that we're seeing a lot of these days. Really can't throw enough thanks to Theatre Circle Moliere, the hosts that allowed me to set up my Flamingos there. It's been great.
So are some of the ways like engraving, especially the table, is that stuff that you were able to do at North Forge?
Yeah, all done at North Forge. I do have a smaller laser engraver at home, but it's a real tiny one. The Flamingos, they're not too big. They're about I'd say just under 2 feet tall for each one. But they've got these larger machines at North Forge, and I could have made the Flamingos bigger, but I was trying to maximize my use of the material. So interesting tidbit: once COVID started out, clear acrylic was used by companies all over the place for like protective purposes.
Yeah, and dividers. Yeah.
Yeah, dividers and offices, everything. And it jacked up the price of acrylic and the material that I was using for the Flamingos. So I had to be a little bit more strategic with my use of material, but it all worked out in the end. Yeah,
art can be very expensive.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was really lucky that Nuit Blanche had their call to artists, and they were able to support me and the other people participating, and cover the cost of materials and everything. It's really wonderful what they do every single year.
Well, it looks great, your Flamboyance of Flamingos, and I hope people can go and check it out. For someone who's maybe a budding artist or a budding maker like yourself, what sort of advice would you give them to help push them over that edge? Maybe they're just stuck behind a creative wall right now.
Absolutely. I would say start small, stick to a plan, and really just get that first project done. That's the number one advice I can give. You're not going to go for the Mona Lisa your first time out or anything super crazy like that. I'd say, come up with a small first project, and then just keep iterating and getting bigger and bigger after that.
Fantastic. So Nick, where can people find more of your work or learn more about you, and where can they see your awesome flamingos?
So yeah, I don't really have a website or anything like that. If you want to see what I'm up to, you can follow me on Instagram. So that's at Nick Danzinger on Instagram. Basically, it sounds how it's spelled. And as far as my exhibit goes, it's at 340 Provincial in Winnipeg. So it's St. Boniface. If you're really low on time, you can just cruise past it. You should see the flamingos out if it's dark enough. They're alongside the windows of Theatre Circle Moliere, which is 340 Provincial.
Check out Nuit Blanche, winnipeg.ca, NUITBLANCHE Winnipeg, to find all the exhibits available in the exchange, and the event goes until October 24th. If you have any stories you'd like us to share or communities we should highlight, leave a comment on our social media or reach out to us on our website. I'm Ryan Funk. This was U Talk, and have yourself a good one.